Would it surprise you to learn that Google pays Apple billions of dollars annually to have Google Search pre-installed as the default search engine on the iPhone and Mac? You may be surprised to learn that these payments account for roughly 20% of Apple's annual net income, more than the combined sales of the iPad and Mac. Welcome to Financial Fortune. Leave a comment down below on your reactions to Google's secrets. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Advertising makes up more than 100% of Google's revenue. Alphabet, Google's parent company, reported revenue of $282 billion for fiscal year 2022. 4/5 of that sum comes from Google's advertising business, the majority of which comes from Google search ads. Unfortunately, advertising makes up more than 100% of Alphabet's bottom line. Simply put, 15% of their operating profit came from non-advertising businesses. When it comes to searching the web, Google is the undisputed king. You probably haven't seen anyone using Bing in quite some time. And they're well aware that Google is searching for their trillion-dollar golden goose. Though Google has made a killing in the search engine business, not everyone is pleased with their company's dominance. Anti-competitive activities were alleged against Google in a lawsuit filed on January 24, 2023, by the Department of Justice and 8 states, including both red and blue ones.
Scott, the Department of Justice and 8 U.S. states have just filed a lawsuit, an antitrust lawsuit against Google, alleging uncompetitive practices in the ad tech market. This filing just dropped within the past couple of moments. It is 153 pages long. The key to this filing appears to be this argument from the Department of Justice. They say competition in the ad tech space is broken for reasons that were neither accidental nor inevitable. One industry behemoth, Google, has corrupted legitimate competition in the ad tech industry by engaging in a systematic campaign to seize control of the wide swath of high-tech tools used by publishers, advertisers, and brokers to facilitate digital advertising. The DOJ here going on to say that Google has inserted itself into all aspects of the digital advertising marketplace and used anti-competitive, exclusionary, and unlawful means to eliminate or severely diminish any threat to its dominance over the digital advertising technologies. So that's the nut here of the case that the Department of Justice is making against Google. This marks the second time in consecutive administrations that the United States has sued Google. You remember that the Trump administration, Department of Justice, sued Google as well. Now comes this filing today. We'll wait to see what Google's response is to it, but this is the opening salvo in what could be a very long battle, Scott.
Okay. Eamon, thank you. The Justice Department announced a second antitrust lawsuit filed against Google. The suit focuses on Google's online ad business, claiming that Google abuses its dominance in online advertising. The DOJ is joined in this suit by 8 states: California, Colorado, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Tennessee, and Virginia. Attorney General Merrick Garland spoke to the importance of the lawsuit from the Justice Department just minutes ago.
Monopolies threaten the free and fair markets upon which our economy is based. They stifle innovation, they hurt producers and workers, and they increase costs for consumers.
Let's talk more about this now with NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian. So, Ken, what more can you tell us about this lawsuit?
Well, Ryan, in announcing the lawsuit, the Assistant Attorney General for Antitrust actually cited passages in the complaint that came from internal emails from Google that he said supported the idea that Google was acting like an illegal monopoly, including one Google employee who asked, "Is there a deeper issue with us owning the platform, the exchange, and a huge network? The analogy would be if Goldman, that's a Wall Street bank, or Citibank owned the New York Stock Exchange." And another employee described the company's, quote, shell game in which it pays publishers $3 billion yearly by, quote, overcharging its advertisers. Now, Google is pushing back today and saying that this lawsuit represents an effort by the Justice Department to pick winners in the technology space and that that it will stifle innovation. That's often the response of companies when they are sued over antitrust practices. But this is a big move by the Justice Department, which essentially says that Google so dominates the ad tech business that other competitors just can't wedge their way in, Ryan.
And so, Ken, this does come after DOJ officials waited to clear Jonathan Cantor to work on Google matters. That's probably not a household name. Tell us who he is, what his role is in the Department of Justice, and what the possible conflict was with his working with investigating Google.
Yeah, Cantor was is the Assistant Attorney General who I was just quoting earlier, who was reading from the complaint and helped with the announcement today. He leads the Antitrust Division, and there had been some question as to whether he should recuse himself from matters involving Google and Apple, because he'd been a frequent critic of both of those big tech firms, and he'd represented in private practice smaller tech firms in various disputes. Just recently, the Justice Department ruled that he was free to proceed in this matter involving Google. They're not commenting or explaining their reasoning. Often these kinds of legal ethics matters are very esoteric and hinge on very technical issues, and they haven't said whether he's allowed to proceed on Apple matters, but they did clear him for Google, and he is a big part of this effort today.
Today, the Department of Justice, joined by 8 states, filed a civil antitrust lawsuit in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia against Google. We alleged that Google has used anti-competitive, exclusionary, and unlawful conduct to eliminate or severely diminish any threat to its dominance over digital advertising technologies. These technologies, which are known as ad tech, automate advertising sales by website publishers to online advertisers. When an internet user opens a web page that has ad space to sell, ad tech tools almost instantly match the website publisher with an advertiser looking to promote its products or services to the website's user. This product and process typically involves the use of an automated advertising exchange. This exchange runs a high-speed auction designed to identify the best match between a publisher selling internet ad space and advertisers looking to buy it. As alleged in our complaint, for 15 years, Google has pursued a course of anti-competitive conduct that has allowed it to halt the rise of rival technologies, manipulate auction mechanics to insulate itself from competition, and force advertisers and publishers to use its tools. In so doing, Google has engaged in exclusionary conduct to severely weaken, if not destroy, competition in the ad tech industry. As detailed in our complaint, we allege that Google's anti-competitive conduct extends to 3 significant elements of the digital ad buying process. First, Google controls the technology used by nearly every major website publisher to offer advertising space for sale. Second, Google controls the leading tool used by advertisers to buy that advertising space. And third, Google controls the largest ad exchange that matches publishers and advertisers together each time that ad space is sold. As a result of this scheme, website creators earn less and advertisers pay more. That means that fewer publishers are able to offer internet users content without subscriptions, paywalls, or other forms of monetization. Our complaint alleges that Google has violated Section 2 of the Sherman Antitrust Act by monopolizing the market for the technology used by publishers to offer ads on their websites, monopolizing or attempting to monopolize the ad exchange market, and monopolizing the market for the ad network technology that advertisers use to buy digital advertising space. Our complaint also alleges that Google has unlawfully tied its ad exchange and its publisher ad server in violations of Section 1 and 2 of the Sherman Act. And finally, we allege that the United States, as an advertiser, has incurred damages by reason of Google's violations of the antitrust laws. In addition to the declaratory relief, our complaint seeks damages and the divestiture of certain Google ad tech products. It also seeks an injunction preventing Google from continuing to engage in the anti-competitive practices described in the complaint and any other practices with the same purpose and effect as the challenged practices. I am grateful to Assistant Attorney General Jonathan Cantor, Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General Doha Mekki, and the attorneys and staff at the Antitrust Division for their tireless work on this case. Monopolies threaten the free and fair markets upon which our economy is based. They stifle innovation, they hurt producers and workers, and they increase costs for consumers. Today's complaint is only the latest example of the department's work to challenge antitrust violations that undermine competition and harm the American people. No matter the industry and no matter the company, the Justice Department will vigorously enforce our antitrust laws. We will aggressively protect consumers, safeguard competition, and work to ensure economic fairness and opportunity for all.
What are your thoughts on Google's preeminent position in search and the placement of ads? Do you believe that the Department of Justice is in the right when it wants to break them up? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. In the meantime, I want to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.